environment. Here we are in 2013. The first thing that we're going to do is create a library that's going to be our folder library. In order to do this, I go to the cog in the upper right-hand corner, click that, and from this drop-down, I'm going to choose Add an App. In SharePoint 2013, lists and libraries are now referred to as apps. So once I click that Add an App, notice I can simply click the template for a document library. I click that template, I give it a name. I'm going to call this Animal Folders. And I'm not going to put a space. Spaces in the name are going to add a %20 to my URL. I'm giving away 3 spaces for the price of 1. Go ahead and create that document library. I'm going to open the document library. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the title so that's going to be friendly for my users. Click on the Library tab and go over to the Settings group and click on Library Settings. And then in the General Settings column, click on List Name, Description, and Navigation. Clicking here allows me to change the name of the library without changing the URL. Also, you may want to consider displaying this library on the quick launch bar so that you can find it more easily. It will be displayed under Recent until it rotates out. Now, let's go back into the Animal Folder library and we would start creating the folder structure. From the Files tab, we'd go into the New group and click New Folder. So if we have a bunch of animal photos and we want to categorize them, perhaps we'll have dogs. So I'm going to create a dog folder. And these are all at the top level. We might have cats. And for now, we'll add horses. But you get the idea. Then I'm going to click into the cat folder and create my second level of folder structure. Click on File, and I want to be able to group my cats into small cats, medium cats, and large cats. That will take care of our jungle cats. Now within each folder, I'm also going to probably want the colors so that I can put the cats in the different colored folders based on their color. So orange, maybe I'll spell it correctly. White. Black, you get the idea. Now, one of the joys of this is I'm going to have to do this over and over and over again in each folder. Better yet, I'm going to also have to do it for dogs and horses. So you get the idea. We're going to go ahead and we're going to set up our folder structure. Then what we would do is drill down into the folder that works for us. And then we're going to open up our pictures. And we're going to select the orange cats, orange large cats, and drag them and drop them into that folder. I have to tell you that drag and drop for documents is pretty much my favorite thing from an end user's perspective for SharePoint 2013. So again, to set up this demo, you would need to set up all your color folders, all your size folders, cats, dogs, maybe a couple other folders, and then drag and drop the images into the appropriate folders. Now remember, we still have to create one more library. That's going to be our metadata library. So we're going to click on the cog in the upper right-hand corner, which has taken the place of Site Actions. So it was nice that in 2007 it was on the left. 2010 it was on the right. Oh, I got that opposite. 2007 it was on the right. In 2010, it was on the left, and now it's back home on the right-hand side, just to keep us guessing. So we're going to go ahead and add another app. It is going to be a document library. We'll call this Animal Metadata. Go ahead and click OK. And just like we did in the last one, we're going to go into the new library, go to the Library tab, and in the Settings group, we're going to click Library Settings. Under General Settings, we'll click List Name, Description, and Navigation. Put in the space, display it on the Quick Launch, and click Save. Now, instead of going back to the library and setting up a folder structure, we're going to stay here in the Library Settings page, and we're going to set up our columns. So, the first column we might want to create is Animal. So, we're going to type the name Animal. We're going to make it Choices. Anytime you have an opportunity to provide your user with choices, you have a much better chance of actually getting that column filled in. So we'll put in here cat, dog, horse. You get the idea. We're going to scroll down. We are not going to have a default value, so we simply delete that from the field and we click the OK button. Now we're going to create a size column. Remember, when we were in our folder library, first we created the animal folders, then we created the size folders. So following that logic, we're also going to create a size column or field. Click the choice button for the type of column, and we'll put in small, medium, and large. We'll go ahead and leave that as a drop down. And we're going to delete the default value and click OK. Now we're going to create the color column. And one of the things that we're going to do differently for this column is we're going to allow our users to select multiple colors. That way they don't have to just pick one color, which they would have to do if they were using folders. So we're going to change the type of display from drop-down menu, which only allows one selection. Radio button displays all of your selections, but you still can only make one. We're going to choose checkboxes because it allows our users to select multiple items. Then, on separate lines, we're going to type each color. Black, brown, white, red, blue, and how about champagne? Because there are some poodles they call champagne. And again, we're going to delete the default value and click OK. Now, when we go back into the Animal Metadata Library, we can simply select our photos and drag them in here. Now, before we go ahead and do that, because we want to have the correct metadata assigned to them, what I'm going to recommend is that before you start dragging images into this library that you're going to use for your demo, is you go back into the library settings page, and let's say I'm going to upload dog photos first. So I'm going to go to the animal column and I'm going to put in a default value of dog. I'm going to make it match my choices. And let's say I'm going to do my small dogs first. So I've selected dog as the default value for animal, and for size, I'm going to put in a default value of small. And here's why. Now, when I drag and drop my animal photos into the Animal Metadata Library, we'll go to small dogs. I will grab all of the small dogs and I will drag them and drop them. They are all uploaded. Notice they're all labeled dog, they're all labeled small, and now all I have to do is go into the Library tab, go into Quick Edit, and notice how I named these W Terrier. That's White Terrier, which means I can simply click into the color column, choose the drop down, and select white. Now, that one only has one color. I'm going to hit the Enter key. The Boston Terrier is black and white, so I select black and white and press the Enter key. Go through and do this for all of your pictures, and then eventually you'll have all of your metadata assigned. Now, just like a cooking show, I've actually put together the full demo, but I wanted to show you how to build it. So if we go up to the top level site, you'll notice here I have an animal metadata library and an animal folders library. Now this is where it gets interesting. What I like to do is I like to go into the animal folders library and I tell somebody to find me a medium-sized black dog. And they go, well, okay, I'm going to go into the dog folder. I'm going to go into the medium folder, and I'm going to go into the black folder. And here, I have a black dog. Fabulous. Well, that wasn't hard to navigate at all. That's wonderful. Now I'm going to go back up to the top, and now I'm going to ask my user to find, I want to do a photo spread of all red animals, all animals that have red in them. How are you going to find all of those? Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click into birds. I'm going to go into the large folder and then, well, let's say I want to find brown birds. I want to find all the brown animals. So then I have to drill down into this brown folder. Then I go back up to birds. I go into the medium folder. I go into the brown folder and pull out all the brown medium birds. Then I go back up to the bird folder. I go into the small folder. You're seeing where this is going, right? Yeah. So then I take them over to the animal metadata folder and I say, you know what? Show me all of the small animals. Well, we can actually set up a view that actually groups by size. And here we have all of the small animals that have been uploaded. All of the small cats. All of the small dogs. Here, we'll do this. So it gives us more flexibility because we're not tied to just that one folder structure. Here I can see all brown dogs regardless of their size because we've set up a view where color contains the word brown. So this just gives us a lot more flexibility. We can even group by animal. I want to see all of the cats. I want to see all of the large cats. Well, these are all the large cats images that we have. Okay, so it's easier to pull the information that you need. So if you can show this to your clients, come up with a couple scenarios and ask them to find certain images based on criteria that you give them. Ask them to navigate through the folder structure to pull out all of that information. Make sure it's something that goes across the folder structure. Then allow them to do the same search or get another volunteer and have them do the search within the animal metadata library so that they can make use of the columns. They can filter and sort by the columns. They can make use of the views because that metadata has been captured, which means we don't have to play by the hard and fast folder navigation. Metadata allows us that flexibility to get at the data any way that we need to.